Good day, folks, and welcome to another exciting toy review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise Deluxe Class Cliffjumper. Again, Cliffjumper comes packaged in vehicle mode on a traditional deluxe card. The card features some great artwork of Cliffjumper as well as a large Autobot logo. The back of the card, as usual, features a short bio and images of the robot mode and vehicle mode. There's also artwork advertising Transformers Prime. On the one side, we see our traditional tech specs, and as we've come to see in the Prime line, we see on the other side that the series is numbered. Now, unfortunately, due to the fact that retailers like Walmart and others decided it was better business decision to put 40 orange Dark of the Moon Roadbusters on a peg rather than stock the Transformers Prime First Edition toys, I do not have a First Edition Cliffjumper to compare to. So we're going to have to focus solely on the Robots in Disguise Cliffjumper. Moving on to Cliffjumper's vehicle mode, we can see that he's the traditional red sports car we've seen in the show. And he's fairly accurate, and there are very few faults I can find in this vehicle mode. The paint apps are very good. They have paint across the grille, painted wheels, paint on the rear bumper and tail lights, even paint for the exhaust there. The only issue I really have with this vehicle mode are the fact that there are two large ports, one on the top and one about where the gas cap would be, to attach Cliffjumper's weapon. The one on the gas cap I wouldn't mind leaving alone like that. The one on the top I would prefer to have they used something similar to what they used with the Dark of the Moon, with the spring piece there to cover up the hole. Other than that, though, I'm very pleased with the vehicle mode. And on to the transformation. Cliffjumper's transformation lives up to its intermediate rating. Not so easy and quick that you don't get to enjoy the process, yet not too difficult either. The most difficult part of the transformation seems to be the tight clips and joints that make it hard to move pieces where they need to be. The way the forearms fold together can also be difficult to visualize at first. However, once you have done it once, you should get the hang of it. There is an automorph feature in Cliff's transformation, but it is limited to simply raising and lowering the head. In the end, I think this process fits what I would expect to get from a deluxe class toy. And here we have Cliffjumper in his robot mode. Overall, I think he's a pretty good representation of Cliffjumper. He looks pretty accurate. The legs I'm fairly happy with. Pretty good articulation in the legs. My biggest complaint are these arms. Because of the way they fold for the transformation, they're kind of big and hollow, and when you go to move them, a lot of times they pop apart. They don't hold in position very well. Another issue I have with the arm is the wrist joints here. The wrist is on a ball joint, which, while better than just being a hinge here, limits articulation in this wrist. You've got a little bit of a turn to it, but not much. But again, this is a fault of the way how this arm has to transform. The head sculpt is pretty good, although I'm not exactly sure what kind of expression they were going for on his face. It seems to change depending on which angle you look at it from. Head articulation is also kind of limited due to a short neck here and also because if you go to tip his head back, it hits this mechanism back here for the automorph. Which I will say, though, that the automorph feature to raise and lower the head here on Cliffjumper is better than what was used on Bumblebee. One thing they did do is they put a cheat in here to form his chest. The lights, the panels on his chest, they are not the actual parts of the car. These are all just parts that sit underneath the car, and when you transform him, they're revealed. I would have preferred it if they could have got the toy to work with the actual parts, which, from what I've seen, seemed to work okay with the first edition version. Again, I think it's a issue where it seems as though the budget for the Robots in Disguise line was less than what they had for the first edition toys. Cliffjumper's backside doesn't look too bad. He does have a little bit of a butt flap here. But one nice thing is, because of where this peg is located, he does have some place to store his weapon while in robot mode. Cliff's weapon is referred to as a battle hammer, which so far has not been represented in the show at all. I would have preferred a weapon, similar to what we've seen in the show, his 3 blasters that come out of his hand, which is even pictured on the artwork on the packaging. But we are stuck with this strange block of plastic. I don't expect Cliffjumper to win Transformer of the Year, but he is a fairly accurate representation of his on-screen model. He's also a fun little toy, too.